Your cat is sitting somewhere right now, looking at you. Calm, upright, motionless. This look hits you, without even touching you. And you might ask yourself, why do they do that? What do they see? 3,000 years ago, this exact look was carved into stone. On temple pillars, on tomb walls, on golden amulets. The name of this goddess was Bastet, and her face was the face of a cat. You might be thinking, that's just mythology. It has nothing to do with today. But here is the question that won't let you go today. What if Bastet wasn't just invented? What if the Egyptians described something real that still exists? Because that look from your cat, calm, piercing, untouchable, is exactly the same. The same look, 3,000 years later, right on your couch. In this story, you'll discover why this gaze is never about indifference. You'll find out what's really going on inside your cat when they observe you. And you'll learn why the Egyptians were right, in a way you'd never expect. Stay with me until the end, because the most important part comes with the final thought. Picture Bastet, a woman's body, a cat's head, sitting upright. A calmness that isn't weakness, a vigilance that isn't aggression. A power that doesn't need to roar. That is the image the Egyptians chose to represent the goddess of protection. Not a lion, not an eagle, a cat, sitting, watching. And now, think about your own cat. How do they sit when they watch you? Upright, calm, perfectly still. That is no coincidence. It's the exact same being, 3,000 years later. Scientists have discovered something incredibly interesting. Cats have a density of ganglion cells in their visual center that far exceeds ours. This means your cat doesn't see less than you do. They see more. They perceive movements that are completely invisible to you. They register changes in your posture long before you even realize you've moved. And while they are looking at you, they are analyzing you. Not with malice, not coldly, but with a precision that no human could ever match. The Egyptians observed this, and they called it divine sight. Today, researchers call it a superior visual processing system. The name is different, but the reality is the same. But here is something that most people completely overlook. Bastet wasn't just the goddess of beauty or the home. She was the goddess of protection against the unseen. Against diseases, against evil spirits, against what you cannot see. And that is exactly what your cat does, too. Have you ever noticed your cat staring into a corner where there's absolutely nothing? You see nothing, but your cat sees something. Maybe a tiny insect, maybe a shifting shadow, maybe a vibration that your body simply cannot register. In the ancient world, they said, the cat sees what we cannot see. That wasn't mysticism. That was empirical evidence. Observation over generations. And here comes the first open question of this video. Why does your cat watch you so intensely? You have roommates. You have visitors. You have strangers walking by. But their gaze always returns to you. Always. What do they see in you that they can't find anywhere else? We will answer that, but not right now. Only when you have the full context. Because the answer only makes sense if you understand who Bastet truly was. Most people know Bastet as a gentle goddess. Caring, protective, loving. And that is true, but it's only half the truth. Bastet had another form, Sekhmet, the lion goddess. Destructive, relentless. The same goddess, two completely different faces. And your cat is built exactly the same way. They lie relaxed in your arms, purring, the gentlest creature alive. And 3 seconds later, a mouse, or a spider, or a toy. And suddenly, they are something else, something ancient, something uncompromising. This dual nature isn't a flaw. It's their design principle. Gentleness and precision. Tenderness and absolute control. That is Bastet. That is your cat. But we are not done yet, because there is another dimension to this story. One that might surprise you the most. Bastet was also the goddess of music, dance, and joy. Cats were revered at festivals, at celebrations, in moments of shared life. And your cat, have you ever noticed this? When you laugh, they come closer. When you sing, they turn their head. When the energy in the room shifts, their behavior changes. That is no coincidence. That is Bastet, the essence of joy inside them. Cats register moods through the frequencies that human voices create. Researchers call this mood-synchronous behavior. Your cat mirrors what you radiate. If you laugh a lot, your cat relaxes more. If you are tense, they withdraw or actively seek physical contact with you. The goddess of joy truly lives within them. And here is the thought we will conclude this part with. The Egyptians celebrated an annual festival in honor of Bastet in Bastet. Tens of thousands of people gathered, with music, with dancing, with pure joy. And right in the middle of it all, cats, watching calmly. As if they were watching over the commotion, as if they were approving. 3,000 years later, your cat sits on the windowsill. Watching the street, watching the people, watching life go by. Calm, superior, interested, but never overwhelmed. That isn't passivity, that is presence, the deepest form of attention. And this quality, being completely at peace while life races around you. That is the gift Bastet passed down to the cat. The gift your cat shows you every single day, without a single word. Researchers at the University of Vienna have compared cats to human infants. Specifically, the quality of their attachment to humans. What they found was astonishing. Cats develop a bond with humans that is structurally identical to the mother-child bond. They seek out their caregiver when they feel insecure. They are comforted by your presence, not just by food. And when you come home, your cat measurably relaxes. Not because you bring dinner, but because you are there. The Egyptians knew this without MRI scanners, without measuring heart rates. They saw it every day, and they called her Bastet, the protector of the home. Because the cat protects the home, and the home protects the cat. It is a two-way street. And now, back to your question. Why do they look at you of all people? Because you are their point of reference, their anchor, their signal of safety. In a feline language that knows no words, this look means, I am watching you, because you matter. Not the room, not the food, you. And that is what Bastet taught humanity, through every cat that has ever lived. Now I'm getting to something that hardly anyone knows. There is a hand gesture, a ritual greeting in ancient Egypt. When a priest walked past a statue of Bastet, he lowered his gaze and slightly bowed his head. As a sign of acknowledgement, not submission, acknowledgement. And here is the strange part. Your cat does something very similar. The slow blink. When your cat looks at you and then very slowly closes their eyes. That isn't sleepiness. That is trust. It is the cat equivalent of saying, I see you. I acknowledge you. I am with you. Researchers at the University of Sussex confirmed this. The slow blink is an active signal. And you can return it. Blink slowly back at them. If your cat responds, you've just had a conversation. A conversation that has existed between humans and cats for 3,000 years. Bastet never ceased to exist. She only changed her form. She got smaller. She lives in apartments instead of temples. She gets wet food instead of sacrificial offerings. But that look, that calm, piercing, unfathomable look is exactly the same. And when your cat looks at you right now, you are looking at Bastet. Not as a myth, not as a symbol, but as what she always was, a being that watches, protects, and loves. In their own, uncompromising way. Tell me in the comments, does your cat give you the slow blink? And have you ever blinked back? We read every single comment, and we really do reply. Your cat is looking at you. Look back. Blink slowly, just once, and wait. Whatever they answer, that is Bastet talking to you. That is the oldest connection between humans and cats in the world.